Now a story you'll see only on Eyewitness News, Life-Saving Lessons.
Typically, our Call 12 for Action Center receives consumer complaints about products or companies, but we recently received an email that was quite different.
A mom praising a Rhode Island employer because she says a training program they offer literally saved her son's life.
Consumer reporter Susan Campbell joins us with the incredible story.
You probably wouldn't expect someone in your company's IT department to know CPR. But in this story, a computer specialist is the hero.
Nicole Lara has always known these moments with her son Sebastian are precious. But a few months ago, she realized just how precious when she was faced with what could have been.
When I heard the scream, I knew it was just different. It was gut-wrenching. It was, I need help type of scream. And I picked him up. He had his mouth open and he looked like he couldn't breathe. I panicked.
But Nicole's friend Tanya didn't, and she was able to dislodge a screw that Sebastian was choking on. A screw that had fallen from a window AC unit right into the toddler's toy chest.
I felt helpless as a mother. I felt like had I been taught, or had I been empowered with the knowledge of what to do when your child is choking, I felt like the situation, I could have had control over it. And I just can't imagine what would have happened if Tanya wasn't here, because I had no idea what to do.
Tanya had been trained in first aid and CPR through her employer, Neighborhood Health Plan of Rhode Island. She works in IT, so it wasn't a requirement, just a perk of the job.
There's a huge benefit to doing this, and as evidenced by this great story of one of our staff members that was able to save a young child.
Neighborhood's Lisa Whiting says the company offers annual CPR training for its clinical staff and employees who are part of a safety committee. Neighborhood also partnered with the American Heart Association 2 years ago to offer training company-wide. Whiting estimates about 80% of employees participated.
For us as an employer, that is just a big deal for us. We want our employees to feel safe, we want them to feel secure here, and we want them to know what to do in case of an emergency.
Now Nicole hopes her story, her son, will be the reason other employers begin to offer the same life-saving training.
We checked and learned more than 60,000 Rhode Islanders were trained in CPR by the American Heart Association in 2017. I'm Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.
Coming up on Eyewitness News at 6, a look at the life-saving measures that are already required in Rhode Island.
Time now for Eyewitness News, Call 12 for Action, Life-Saving Lessons.
Live at 5, we told you about a Woonsocket mom who's calling on corporations to offer first aid and CPR training to all employees after a friend used that training to save her son's life.
And new at 6, Eyewitness News consumer reporter Susan Campbell takes a look at some of the life-saving measures that are already required in Rhode Island.
There's no blanket policy that requires first aid and CPR training, but some workplaces are required to have certified personnel on staff.
Nicole Lara's 1-year-old son Sebastian was choking on a screw that had tumbled from a window AC unit right into the little boy's toy chest.
I really didn't know what to do at all.
But Nicole's friend Tanya was there. She had recently received CPR training through her employer, Neighborhood Health Plan of Rhode Island. Nicole says that training saved her son's life.
I just thank God that she made that choice, because she was able to spring into action.
Nicole hopes other employers and corporations will offer similar training.
I think it would be great for employers to offer that as a benefit to their employees.
We checked in with the Rhode Island Department of Health to find out what is mandated. We learned registered health clubs must have an AED, an automated external defibrillator, on site. 1 employee per shift must be trained to use it. Places that are open to the public with a capacity of at least 300 are also required to have an AED and a person trained to use it. The same applies for middle and high schools. Teachers are also required to complete CPR training, and according to state law, that training is part of the curriculum for Rhode Island students.
Daycares are required to have half of their staff CPR certified and have at least 1 trained staff member on duty at all times. I'm Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.